Hey, everybody. What I wanted to do today is talk about one of the prosperity projects that I have that I'm co-creating with my friend Marge. And, just let you know, hear more about it in general. So we are talking about prosperity, the business model, how to make that more prosperous, and the new project of the When In, WEN, and the last in, INN. So, what I'm working on right now is the inn is open. It is seeing people. It has been open since April, and we have guests coming. Last weekend, I just got back from working the weekend at the inn, and uh, it is, it's so fabulous to be there. Now, that inn is in a small town. It's in Peterson, Minnesota. It sleeps 29 comfortably. And so there's 14 beds, there's 10 rooms, and there is lots of opportunity. It is on a bike trail, so people who love to bike also come there, but there's also this huge buy-in from all of these small communities that have bikes for free. They have motorized bicycles so that you can be someone who can't normally do 30 miles, but you have to be able to kind of on those electric bikes, you still have to pedal them and get them going. But you get to meet all of these amazing people on the trail and other people who are doing the same routes that you are. So at the inn, this is what is, it's summer here, so it's season. And we see a lot of people like that who are on the bike trail, who want to come to some place that's cozy. And the Wen has some things that I really appreciate. So one, it is considered a heritage site. So what does that mean? It means that it has been kept in a time. So it's the early 1900s. There are no televisions in any rooms, that there are none of these fancy amenities of today. Of course, there's internet, but we don't have computers out for you to use or anything like that. So you can literally unplug and get away. And the rooms have air conditioning. They all have a real bathroom. You're not sharing a bathroom with anyone. So you get a private room with a private bathroom that has enough room for you to actually take a bath, not a shower. You can take a bath. People who like baths. And so sometimes people choose a room just for that bath, um, naming me. So the When In, so what's happening? So the inn is there. We've been running it since April. So April, May, June, July. So for 4 months, we've really just been paying attention. How does it work? What are all the details? Marge has been living down there almost every single day for 4 months. And what we have learned is cadence, right? What do you need to do? So we've been taking careful notes, and we've decided that we are also building a new model for prosperity, which is how do we take the things that we can build as, high achieving people, and invite our other friends to come in and co-create with us, and co-create in a way that is profitable for everyone. So we are building right now the guest host series. So we'll teach you in our community how to become someone who can guest host at an inn like this. So a 10 room inn, there's a lot of them in the United States. So it's a way to practice. It's a way to get away. So what the offer would be, as it stands right now, is that we'd invite somebody to be a guest host for an entire week. So they would come in on a Sunday and they would stay through the following Sunday, and then they would trade off with the next person. So it's a Sunday to Sunday gig. It is a way to stay somewhere for an entire week. So as a guest host, you you don't pay anything to stay, but you do have the responsibilities of the host. And those are not necessarily changing beds. That those are roles that are already filled, but it's running the inn. It's making sure that people are checked in. It's making sure that the inn is running safely. So there are tools. So we'll build a training program that allows you to understand the tools of the trade, that'll understand the training that's needed. There's a lot that's needed to be a host. And being a great, and we are already considered a super host. So being a super host means that you have to have some certain things. So understanding what it takes to be a super host, what it means to have referrals, what it means to transition people to book a certain way, to do these other things. The other thing that you get from being a guest host is you get the life experience. There are so many people who have thought about, maybe I could run an inn. Well, why don't you test it out? And why don't you test it out, and we'll give, and it's a profit share model. So however many bookings are on that week, you get 10%. So we start to do that. And if you book it with your own friends, it's even more fun. So sometimes there's another model. There's another model that can be filled with love and energy and creativity. And that's the prosperity part of that message, right? Is if you know you're guest hosting during that week, you can invite all your friends to come stay that week with you, and they can pay for those rooms, and you get a percentage of that. So there's one model. The second model is that you can just show up and get 10% of the booking and learn how to run your own inn. The other thing is that you can learn how what is the real deal? How difficult is it? And one of the things that I think about in this process of the last 16 weeks is the amount of things I've learned about running an inn. It's supercalifragilistic. It's just amazing how many things you have to know and how much it is helpful to live in that community. One of the reasons that Marge just stayed down there is, one, she's in love with it. Two, she loves a good night's sleep. She loves sleeping in the country. That is like her favorite thing. Like I learned just this weekend that Marge takes a nap almost every day because it's quiet. Because you're in a small town and everybody's busy during the day, which means that there's plenty of time to sleep. And that house is quiet. When you are learning to manage a property, you are learning so many new things, and that keeps you alive. That keeps you vibrant. That keeps you interesting. And the other thing about that ability for me, as somebody who loves prosperity and who amplifies from a point of love, is it's a chance to openly love people, and openly love people from everywhere in the country. That this weekend we had 6 different states of people that were coming in, that they're far from home. So having someone that can openly love their journey, how'd it go today? Because they have the same innkeeper the whole time that they're there. So you get to enjoy their stay with them. I don't have to get into their grill. I don't have to do anything that is specific, but I can just say, hey, welcome back. Would you like a glass of water? Sometimes it was so the other day that I just went, oh my gosh, all of you are out in this heat riding your bikes. Let me just run up to the store and get some potato chips. So I just went and got a bunch of potato chips and dip, the thing that I would want when I came back from being hot. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, these are like the best potato chips ever. Yes, because you need them. It was hot work out there. So it is a chance to openly love. And that's the other thing about being an innkeeper that I really appreciate. Sometimes people need me to take a step back. You get to learn to read that. Sometimes people need to take a step in. But really, what people value is being valued. People value being valued. And that, I think, is the biggest piece of our training, is to value the fact that they took their time, that they drove all this way, that they are willing to spend their money here, that they're willing to talk about it with their friends, that they're willing to come to somewhere and be loved. And that's powerful. And so we love to do that. We also want to build a community, and we build a community within the community. We build a community with you. we build a community with our guests. So it is an opportunity to build community and to talk about that situation. There is compensation that's attached to it. It is not great, but where the compensation comes in is the training. The This is another item to put on your life list of things that I've done and tried, and it gives you a week to say, I'm going to live somewhere else as someone else and as your true self, I think, a lot of times, because openly loving and greeting people is fun. If you do not like people, being an innkeeper is a terrible job. If you don't actually like people, it's if you are not always willing to give favor, it's a terrible job for you. If you are easily frustrated by technology, by things going wrong, by unforeseen problems, it's not a good job for you. But if you are someone who thrives in new experiences, can wing it, can follow rules, can go with the flow, that are a problem solver, and that you'd like to stay somewhere lovely for a whole week, it's probably the right spot for you. If you enjoy building community, if you enjoy odd situations, I mean, like for the first time, we heard the fire alarms go off, and the fire alarm didn't get set off by a fire. It got set off um, by vapor, and the entire house was screaming, "Get out! Fire alarm! Get out!" We didn't even know the fire alarm spoke. So it's screaming in everyone outside of everyone's room, "Fire! Get out! Fire! Get out!" Well, you have to learn to navigate that stuff. Thank God that only happened at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when somebody took too hot of a shower. So living and learning, right? So you get this opportunity to find all these new situations that you didn't know existed. You didn't know existed. I had to troubleshoot so many things about what happens when somebody comes in, they can't find their room. What happens when this? You just learn all new things. And that's the fun of being a guest host. So that's what we are looking at. So we are building in a beautiful space. It is heritage. So if you love the 1900s and if you love all of the things that make a space feel like you're literally transported in time, it's a great place. If you are someone that values that you value that heritage experience, you will enjoy it. Someone who likes history, it's going to be great. There are lots of readers. There are people that come just to hide and read a book. There are people that come just to take a nap. There are people who come just to not be in their own life. There are people who come to have a totally new experience. So you get to know an entire community. And in this community, the thing that I really am enjoying about building this business model is there is every kind of person who has had every kind of experience, and they're so willing to share their life. They're so willing to be part of something that's exciting. So we don't hide the fact that this is a prosperity business model. We don't hide the fact that there are multiple people that we're training. We don't hide the fact that we're going to build prosperity differently. And we're going to build a business model that has something in it for everyone. And it has something in it for the community. It has something in it for the people that are staying. It has something in the bevy for somebody who owns it. There is something that's in there for everyone that decides to contribute to that, and that every single one of those things can have a positive note. And it's not just a pie in the sky item. Granted, it pays, which you can't control, but it's a sustainable model that will allow us to continue to thrive, and it will allow us to continue to bring new information in, and it will allow us to build something that's never been built. So that's the part that's what I'm working on. And Marge and I have worked on prosperity models on a bunch of different things, but this is the one that I think has the most availability to be extraordinary. So come hang out with us. The first thing that you can do is come stay. So if you think that this is something that you want to do, why don't you come visit the inn first and see if this is a place that you can see yourself? So it is, that's the first invitation. The second invitation is if you already know this is for you, then write me a note, and you can, we'll keep you in on the guest on the list, right? Of when we have training, it's there. For you to become a guest host, one, there has to be an opening. Two, you have to have gone through training. Three, you have to have actually stayed at the inn. So the first step for you is come as a guest. The second step is get on the mailing list. The third step is come through training. The fourth step is get yourself on that list to say, can I be in this round of being someone that can do that, and getting your week. So sometimes your week will be in season. And when it's in season, we have 24 to 26 for breakfast. When it's off season, you might have 4. So it's learning how to do that. So thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for being interested in all these crazy things that we've been building. And this is unique. And I'll be excited. I'll be excited to see you, hear your ways of thinking about it, and your reviews. So we'll see you soon. Thanks for being part of all the magic that we're making in the world.